welcome to another edition of the Front Row Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. As you can see, Marty Ben is already pounding the table. Big John Milkowski is here. Hello.
Hello.
You all right?
We were pre-gaming. I was, okay, that's fine. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get after it.
All right. We're going to talk some NFL in a little bit, the conference championships games. But we're going to start off with a message from the OHSAA. I will read part of this. If you're a mother or father of a high school athlete here in Ohio, this message is primarily for you. When you attend an athletic event that involves your son or daughter, cheer to your heart's content, enjoy the camaraderie that high school sports offers, and have fun. But when it comes to verbally criticizing game officials or coaches, cool it. Make no mistake about it, your passion is admired, your support of the hometown team is needed, but so is your self-control. Yelling, screaming, and berating the officials humiliates your child, annoys those sitting around you, embarrasses your child's school, and is the primary reason Ohio has an alarming shortage of high school officials. So, are parents getting worse, or are officials getting softer?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, if you're an official and you can't put two cotton balls in your ears and just ignore most of the noise, don't officiate. Sorry. And I'm not saying parents aren't worse. I'm just saying at the end of the day, if you can't let that roll off your back, fine.
If it's out of hand, throw them out.
Well, that's a whole separate thing that I agree with. But the other thing is, and I hate to say this, but the quality of officials is down. In the last 15 years, it has consistently ratcheted down. And we can say it's because more of them gotten out. I think part of it is pay. I think part of it is other issues. I think part of it's training. But I can tell you, in my opinion, the quality of officiating in games is absolutely at an all-time low in my lifetime. And I'm not saying that to justify parents' behavior, but I've been to games where I literally want to stab myself in the eyeballs with toothpicks because it's painful to watch. I would rather be blind because it's so hard to watch.
I agree, and the main problem, number one, is that the older officials are retiring, and there's not enough young officials, young people who want to officiate. I think that's number one, and that's the main problem. But those guys, when those young kids go and watch a game and see, and I mean, I've heard the extreme where parents are following a ref out to the parking lot and, right, threatening bodily harm. I mean, that's just over the top.
Well, but there's a way to handle that, and if you are a true official, you can handle that in a way that adjudicates it very quickly by involving. I mean, every game you and I have ever been at has somebody there who can handle that if that's the case. I mean, threatening someone is completely. We're not talking about that, but the idea that you can't criticize someone or they don't want to officiate anymore. Well, I have no idea what anybody's watching, but it happens at every level. I mean, we're both fans of famous coaches in high school, local legends, and you're telling me that they don't start off a game by riding somebody's backside?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what you're saying is because Coach X is doing it, Parent Y can't do it because Parent Y doesn't know as much about the game? Well, I get that they don't, but, I mean, come on, get over it. I'm sorry, you've got to have blinders and cotton balls or you just shouldn't do the job. And if that's a prerequisite and they can't find enough people, fine. Then I guess we'll have to figure out a different way to officiate the games.
Well, but that's the problem is that I know soccer especially, there's such a lack of officials, they're actually having to cancel games. And then it's the kids who end up hurting because they can't play games.
Well, but there's another way. Pay a little more. I mean, I know this is a very unpopular
and that money comes out of where?
Well, it's going to have to come out of something or don't.
Well, what does it come out of? I don't even know what it comes out of.
The schools pay the officials.
The schools pay the officials. And my point is, if you want good officials, pay. I mean, money talks and everything else walks. And I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, this is partly economics. If you're thin-skinned, do you want to Uber or you want to officiate? I mean, to me, you officiate because you love the game instead of Uber. But at the end of the day, it's not a great paying job. Agreed? Yeah, I mean, any of us that know what they get paid for a game, it doesn't pay that well. They do it because they love the game. So it becomes, if you want more people to do it, maybe you have to pay them a little more. And if that means it costs the schools a little more, so be it. And then the boosters and those same parents running their mouth are going to have to pony up the ante so Johnny or Susie can play.
Well, but how much more are you talking? I mean, what is the threshold that makes somebody say, I want to do that because that's a decent night? I mean, you're talking, what if football has...
If it was double, it still would... Okay, you and I know what a football or basketball... If you doubled that, you're telling me that's going to break any program? Garbage.
No, but in football, you've got 6 officials out there.
Yeah, making what a game?
But if you double it, I mean, and yeah, you can say, well, okay, we'll raise the admission $2 a person.
A buck. A buck would, at almost any high school football game, that would more than cover it. So a buck extra admission would cover getting, and here's the, I promise you this, if you said to me, I pay $1 more but get great officials, I'll give you 2.
But it's also not a school thing, it's not a conference thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the OHSAA sets the rates for the officials, correct?
Well, and maybe the OHSAA that put out this letter should do a little gut check on setting rates that draw the right kind of people who don't mind putting cotton balls in their ears and know how to adjudicate a game.
Well, but
pay them better, because at the end of the day, this is economics.
But it's different for you and I. I mean, we're Division I. You're drawing 1,000 people at a night. What about the Ottawa Hills Northwood game where they've got 300 people?
Okay, I think the smaller games are worse.
Oh, yeah.
Because the bigger games, everything kind of, the sounds all blend together. When you're a smaller game, one loudmouth will stick out.
Oh, I don't know. I can get real loud. I guarantee you there were some no fans of mine with stripes on at the Whitmer St. Francis game.
Aren't we letting the parents off a little easy in this one?
I'm not letting the parents. I'm one of those parents sometimes. But I'm saying to you, when you can't get a huddle together and figure out between 2 of you, so you have one guy setting the ball at the 1-yard line and another guy calling touchback, and they can't even communicate. You've seen, John, you and I talked in the parking lot one night about the Lima game, and we just shook our heads saying, you just expect it to be that bad. That's unacceptable. That's when you and I can go in the parking lot and nod our heads year after year and know what's coming in certain places, that's on the OHSAA. That's on you, and if you're in control of that, fix it, because this is stupid.
Yeah,
and that doesn't mean the parents aren't. I'm not saying the parents aren't right. But when you and I know ahead of time certain venues and certain things, it's going to be that bad. And by the way, we mentioned one, and there's another town, on the way to Lima that
we went to yesterday.
That's you can count on getting job there.
Oh yeah.
There's only one.
Okay, well, figure it out. I was trying not to name names, but...
Well, there's 2 really, but...
Yeah, well, the one's a little further east. But the one further east, you don't have that problem.
Right.
I've not had that problem there. Have you?
No.
You could say who it is. I don't mind.
I like people. I like people in Findlay. I just think the officiating in Findlay is
I just
garbage.
said we played there yesterday. If it wouldn't be that tough to figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
give some parents something to do, though. All right, let's talk some NFL football coming up. We'll talk the conference championship games. Coming up next, don't go anywhere. You're watching, actually, for our Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good. It's that good no matter what your taste. It's that good. Come early, stay late. Burgers and beer, a shot of cheer. Great food and fun. It's that good here. Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
Mortgage Marty here. We hear every day here at Fairway how tight the housing market is, how there's just so few great homes out there. And I want to remind everybody we have a fantastic suite of renovation products. They are basically designed where you can buy a house, borrow extra money over and above the sale price, get contractors lined up, and we pay them after closing. So the work is done after closing. You get to pick who you're going to use, and you can buy that house, fix it up, and create what you want. With as tight as the market is right now, in fact, I have probably a half a dozen customers who are to the point where they're so frustrated they're about to give up. So just think Renovation Loan.
It's February Fury as Powerbomb Wrestling is back in action in Toledo on Sunday, February the 10th at 5 p.m. at St. Clements Hall, 2990 Tremainsville Road. Unchained Brandon Day defends the heavyweight title against former champion, the amazing Nate Matson. Also, Madman Fulton, the Circus of Pain, Sexy Sean Casey, Malice, Ben Boone, Queen Amanada, and more in action. Get your advanced discount tickets right now at pbwexcitement.com. It's coming up February the 10th. It's Powerbomb Wrestling. All right, right, welcome back for our Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. Always a great place to stop by late. Half-priced appetizers after 9 at all your area Ralphie's. And we were down to 4 now in the NFL.
I just want to make sure, is it under there somewhere?
What?
Your Foles Raiders jersey that you're buying ahead of time?
No, he's not going to play for the Raiders.
Oh, come on. It could happen.
I believe the phrase was he's not an NFL quarterback.
I said this before the show. Nick Foles is an NFL quarterback, just like Craig Krenzel's an NCAA champion quarterback. They're very similar. They've been fortunate to play in a system. Oh, you say no.
He got as far as your Cowboys did, so.
No one said Dak Prescott is an elite NFL quarterback.
Oh, that's not true.
Well, I've not. Someone has said that. Those words are not coming out of my mouth.
We know who we're talking about, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry that Cowboy fan exists, and I apologize. Here, please explain this to me, because this is going to make my head hurt. John, you and I watch games a lot, and we agree more often than not. Please explain to me why the dual threat Dak Prescott can't run 4 yards for a first down on 2 consecutive drives, but Jared Goff can scamper 11 or 12 on the game-sealing drive that runs the clock out, and Jared Goff is not a dual threat quarterback. Why is it that Goff can be allowed to go? I mean, Scott Linehan, please explain to me how this can happen.
They run different systems. Dak Prescott is more Alex Smith than he is a playmaker. He's a game manager. He goes out there, and you look at the season, when he wins, the defense plays well. Ezekiel Elliott has a good game. They're usually at home. Everything works out perfectly, and he can win. If any of those things go bad, if they're on the road, if the defense gives up some points, if Ezekiel's not having a good game, you're not winning, because he can't make the plays to bring you a win. But
isn't some of that? I mean, it's 4th and 1. There's 8.5 guys, 8 for sure, and maybe the 9th guy's in the box. You can't just pull that and walk for a first down on the edge. Please, that was 2 years ago when they were 13-3. That play was there all the time, and it was unstoppable. I don't get it.
Unless that's him as a quarterback not trusting his reads or trusting himself to do it. I mean, because any coach is going to allow the quarterback to do that if he sees that it's open.
Well, most coaches.
Well,
yeah, not all. Because that's my question going forward is, were those his decisions, and if so, something's got to change more or less immediately, or is that coaching, in which case something there's got to change? Because the current system makes no sense to me. Because when a guy can walk 4 yards and not even get hit and get a first down on that play, I don't understand why you don't do it.
Well, and to me, I think this Cowboy season was the best thing that could have happened for the other 31 teams in the NFL, because they're going to give Dak Prescott a big contract. They're going to extend Jason Garrett.
Amari Cooper's. Jerry's going to make it rain for Amari Cooper.
Jerry Jones said earlier this year, hey, if Jason Garrett was on the market, he'd have 5 other teams calling after him. I don't know if I don't believe that, unless they're calling to be an offensive coordinator or something.
Well, no, it's the teams probably like Arizona that can't finish 8-8 or 9-7.
All right, and I want to say this heading into this weekend. I don't know if I've ever been a bigger Chiefs fan in my entire life, but as much as I won't bet against the Patriots, I'm sick of it. Well, I just want to establish ahead of time.
First of all, we got the 4 highest scoring teams all in the conference championship games.
But defenses win championships.
Yeah.
Not this year, apparently.
Well, not in a while in the NFL.
Ask the Bears. Apparently that's not the case.
No.
Well, you still got to have some kind of offense.
I don't know if it's the rule changes, if it's a fluke. It's so hard to tell in the NFL because they're changing the rules every year. Every year is a bunch of different rules.
But you've also got 4 really good coaches and 4, I guess you can't say the 4 really good offenses. I mean, they all scored points. But you look at the Patriots.
I think there are 4. I think you've got a couple elite level quarterbacks left in Breeze and Brady. I think Mahomes is up and coming. I don't know. I think my jury's still out on Goff, but I think you could say that offense collectively is.
They have more
weapons. Got a lot of toys, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. And coaching-wise, he's willing to do anything at any time from any place in the field, which is fun to watch. So, if nothing else, it's going to be a fun last couple games.
The rookie QB's got the toys. The veteran guys really don't have them.
No.
Breeze has got a good running game, but his receivers are, other than his main receiver, they've been struggling to find number 2 and number 3 all year.
But if the Chiefs don't beat the Patriots this year, Patriots are going to go on another run. They got 3 first-round draft picks next year. Or 3 of the first. I think they got 5 picks in the first 3 rounds.
You just can't tell. What did you hear all year about the Chiefs? The Chiefs, the defense is lousy, and they give it up 5 yards of rush, and you'd have never known that watching them play the Colts. They shut them down.
I think that Sheldon Rankins' injury will be very, very important early in that game against the Rams. Because if the Rams can run against the Saints like they ran against the Cowboys, that's going to shorten that game up, and then I think that gets more interesting. And not having that presence in the middle to bottle things up. I mean, watching what's his name, roll down the field like a bowling ball was painful. Painful.
Which one, Gurley or C.J. Anderson?
C.J. Anderson. Gurley doesn't look like a bowling ball.
275 yards rushing that they had.
C.J. Anderson, who was cut by 2 teams earlier in the year.
I'm just saying, he just bounced and bounced and bounced and then fell backwards, and 7.5 yards later they pick him up and they do the same thing over and over. It's like, wow.
Now you know why running backs aren't generally taken high anymore.
Because they're interchangeable
It
parts.
seems to be the offensive line is the dominant reason
And it's been very bad news for Le'Veon Bell and all these running backs who won a big contract.
Well, yeah, when the backup comes in and basically has the same season that you had.
Well, not
within
even
a tenth of a yard of carry.
But not even that. But C.J. Anderson comes in he was sitting on his couch 4 weeks ago. And then he comes in and he's had 100 yards in all 4 games.
He was at Kurt Warner's grocery store bagging his groceries. Yes. Fresh legs. There it is.
He was rested.
All right, so what's your prediction for the weekend?
I think it's going to be Patriots and Saints.
Go ahead and ask the questions.
Well, I'm going to ask you because normally you stick me with this. I wanted Patriots and Saints. All right, Patriots and Saints.
We have a whole nother segment, I'm just saying.
Patriots, Saints.
I don't know. I really don't. I think it would be great for the NFL if it ended up being Kansas City and the Rams.
We already saw that, though. On a Monday night when they scored 100 and something points.
Not in the Super Bowl. Not in the Super Bowl.
Can you, what's the matchup where you lose here?
I'll take Kansas City and I'll take New Orleans. I'll take the home teams.
Okay, I can.
Because there is a history of Brady in the playoffs on the road doesn't do well on the road. Every time he's gone to the Super Bowl, he's done it by winning at home. So he's never gone on the road for this conference championship game and gone to the Super Bowl. if I'm not mistaken.
So I would normally agree with you, but I think the forecast alone gives us some pause.
You wouldn't normally agree with me.
Well, I would on this one. I would say that, look, I think you're going to see Gronk, the blocking H-back again.
That's all he's done for the last 2 months.
Well, right, but I think that could be a very short game in terms of, clock time, because I think it's going to be a lot of running, and I think that actually favors the Patriots for a change. And this might be the anomaly because I think the weather's going to be garbage there. It's going to be cold and the ball's going to be tight, and the officials may or may not check the pressure to make sure Brady's got whatever grip.
All right, we'll pick up more of this when we come back. Don't go anywhere. It's the Front Row Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's.
Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good. It's that good no matter what your taste. It's that good. Come early, stay late. Burgers and beer, a shot of cheer. Great food and fun. It's that good here. Bring yourself to Ralphie's. Yeah, it's that good.
Mortgage Marty here. We hear every day here at Fairway how tight the housing market is, how there's just so few great homes out there. And I want to remind everybody we have a fantastic suite of renovation products. They are basically designed where you can buy a house, borrow extra money over and above the sale price, get contractors lined up, and we pay them after closing. So the work is done after closing. You get to pick who you're going to use, and you can buy that house, fix it up, and create what you want. With as tight as the market is right now, in fact, I have probably a half a dozen customers who are to the point where they're so frustrated they're about to give up. So just think Renovation Loan.
It's February Fury as Powerbomb Wrestling is back in action in Toledo on Sunday, February the 10th at 5 p.m. at St. Clements Hall, 2990 Tremainsville Road. Unchained Brandon Day defends the heavyweight title against former champion, the amazing Nate Matson. Also, Madman Fulton, the Circus of Pain, Sexy Sean Casey, Malice, Ben Boone, Queen Amanada, and more in action. Get your advanced discount tickets right now at pbwexcitement.com. It's coming up February the 10th. It's Powerbomb Wrestling.
And welcome back for our Roundtable show presented by Ralphie's. Marty Bin, Big John Malkowski. Before we do our next show, the Hall of Fame will announce who's in for Major League Baseball. So we kind of thought we'd take a look at where things are at and who might get in.
Might or should?
Well, we'll get to both.
Okay, all right.
Just a little patience. A little patience.
Two different things.
Never had any patience.
Yeah, we know.
I'm not injecting patience. Stop that. It's not happening tonight or next week or the week after. Sorry.
No.
I don't like your beard.
Yes.
It was supposed to be a 1 week thing, and here it is.
It's because everybody keeps making snarky comments on it, so the longer people make snarky comments, the longer it's going to
He's
stay.
got the starter kit going
Yeah.
now.
Pretty soon you'll look like me.
All right, back to the Hall of Fame here. Ron Thibodeau is the guy's name?
It's not Ron.
Ryan.
Ryan, yeah.
Ryan, yeah. That tracks those who have announced who they chose on their ballot. There's not quite half of them in yet.
Right.
But I think you could see some things going here. Out of the 182 that he got a hold of, 5 of them are not public.
Yeah.
Mariano Rivera is on all 182 ballots.
As it should be.
So I don't think there's any question he's going to get in.
No, I'm sure. I would almost bet he will not be 100%.
No, because
Hank Aaron wasn't 100%.
Because there's that guy.
Well, and somebody's going to say, well, Babe Ruth wasn't 100%, so.
No, what's more likely to happen is you only get 10 guys to vote for. And somebody's going to go, well, Rivera's going to get it anyway. I'll vote for somebody else.
Still garbage.
Well, I don't
saying.
like. I don't like the 10 guys.
What's going to happen? I'm not endorsing it. I'm just explaining it. All right. The next highest is Roy Halladay at 94%.
That one kind of surprises me.
So he only needs about 60% of the remaining ballots to get in.
I'm not sure I agree that that's as slam dunk as the first one.
I never.
He's going to get in.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get in.
But is he a first ballot guy?
Yep.
And should he be that?
Don't start with the first ballot guys.
Well, if you're going to argue baseball Hall of Fame, you got to argue all these meaningless distinctions that
there's not
the
two
voters
tiers
make.
in the Hall of Fame.
The heck there isn't.
should
If you
be.
listen to these goofballs talk, they make all these ridiculous distinctions.
Yeah, first ballot doesn't matter.
Okay.
Edgar Martinez, and you got to have 75% to get in.
Right.
Edgar Martinez sitting at 90.7%. So it looks like he's going to get in.
Yeah, and he should have. I mean,
Yeah, he should have.
If you're going to make a designated hitter a position, he played the position better than anybody else.
We're not taking that off ramp, by the way.
No,
we're not.
That's an
not
argument
tonight.
for another
Yes,
day.
We
That's-
have all baseball season.
That's mid-July when there's nothing else going on.
What? The DH thing?
Move on with the Hall of Fame. We skirted through that.
Is it a position?
That's what I said. If you're going to make it a position,
Well, it is a position.
then he should be in.
And one that I enjoy so much watching instead of a pitcher going.
See, now I'm not the one taking the detour. Now it's
Sometimes I hate you more than others.
Is there ever going to be a setup reliever that gets in?
Middle reliever? Yes.
I don't
Yes.
know.
Someday.
None of them are consistent enough.
It's a whole nother discussion. Those who have a chance of getting in, Mike Mussina's at 81.9. So he's a little above the threshold right now. It's his 6th year. You have 10 years on the ballot. So he is a possibility.
I've seen him projected to probably get in. I think he gets in eventually if it's not this year.
To me, I'm different on whether he does or doesn't. I think he's right on the cusp. I don't think he's a slam dunk, and I don't think he's a no. I think he's
But see, he was exclusively in the 5-man rotation era.
Right.
And he was one of the dominant pitchers. And he pitched in New York, which is probably going to get him in anyway.
Yes.
Now, here comes the really interesting part. Roger Clemens sitting at 73.6% and Barry Bonds at 73.1%.
Both should absolutely be in the Hall of Fame. You can put the little mark by him or whatever else. Yeah, I know.
I think you should put a hypodermic needle right on the plaque.
That's fine. I'm fine with that. But they should both be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, and the thing is, in following Thibodeau for a couple of years now, last year both of them were in the 70 to 75%. But then all the ballots that come in afterwards that he doesn't get that aren't public, they dropped into like the 60%. So, I mean, it tells me
So
they're
you're
not
saying
gonna
they get off
in.
my lawn voter, right? The grumpy old get off my lawn
Probably.
voter. Yes.
Probably older voters.
The old guy that's not on Twitter to publicize his ballot.
The Walt Kowalski from Gran Torino Hall of Fame voters, not
the smart ones who know that they shouldn't be in anyway.
Kurt Schilling's at 74.2%.
I'm letting that go too. He other than the bloody sock, come on, not that great.
See, I'm
One
not
dramatic moment.
I'm not a Schilling guy
I
either.
think he's highly overrated.
How is he highly overrated?
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Well, it's good that you have a nice argument for that.
Well, I don't want to devolve into all these arguments, like arguing the DH. Not tonight. We can do this next. We have all of the rest of the spring to argue over the decisions that are about to be made.
There will be.
He wouldn't be on my ballot. That's what I'll say.
By the way, Edgar Martinez, it's his final year of eligibility.
And that's why I think he gets in.
As it is Fred McGriff, who's at 36.3, which means he's already eliminated.
And he's one that should be in.
I do not understand.
I still think he's the biggest. He took the biggest hit by the steroid era, because when McGriff was playing, he was hitting 35 to 38 home runs every year, leading the league. But then the steroid guys came in, and then everybody was hitting 60, and 30 to 35 didn't. That was a second baseman.
Yeah, no one cared.
By the mid 90s and 2000s.
I think the crime dog should be in.
But unfortunately, he's going to have to wait until the
Veterans
Committee.
Larry Walker's in his 9th year. He's at 67%. I looked up Larry Walker, and he gets downgraded because of where he played, but his home road splits are not that dramatic. If you go look at somebody like Helton's are ridiculous. There's about almost a 200-point OPS difference between home and road. If you look at Nolan Ariando, who's currently with Colorado, same thing, almost 200 points and OPS. Larry Walker, it's not.
Yeah, I think Larry Walker will get in eventually.
And a
probably
Gold Glove
not this year.
outfielder, but it'll be next year or bust.
Yeah, but a lot of those guys get that 10th year push. It's their last year on the ballot. Guys who may not have voted for him in the past say, well, it's his last year, and yeah, he was on my border anyway, so they give him a push.
I'm not. I wouldn't give Arenado $30 million either in arbitration.
Well,
I'm just saying, because he's not. He's a little above average player on the road, but not that much above average.
But if you're
to get
the
30
Rockies, you might as well give it to him because he still plays half his games in quarters.
You can make a deal. Sign him, deal him.
Exactly.
I heard Manny Machado was going to get $25 million for 7 years today, and shook my head and thought that's 2 years too many, and $75
But he's
million
only 26.
still.
Yeah, this isn't
Those contracts seldom work out.
Miguel Cabrera getting paid until he's 42.
Because most of the time the guys are in the 30s.
Right.
Rarely do you have. That's why Harper and Machado is such a big deal, because they're 26 years old.
Yeah, they're just now hitting their prime and their best years.
I would pay what I'd have to for Harper, Machado. No thanks.
I would overpay Harper and underpay Machado if I was a GM.
Right. All right. Enjoy the games coming up tomorrow. The NFC one is at 3 o'clock. The AFC one is at 6:30. And Powerbomb Wrestling coming your way at 2 a.m. You can't catch it. DVR it. You can't do that. Catch it all on YouTube. For Marty, John, I'm Norm. We'll see you next time.